Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Winkler here, and I wanted to take a minute and talk about getting the most out of your log sources. This has been quite a successful series of videos. Everyone seems to like this. The intention of this next one was to do Windows logs, and I discovered that it was quite a bit more complicated than any of the other ones because there's so darn many methods, and we'll get dirty in that in a sec. This is not the be-all, end-all about pulling Windows logs. This is going to be one of about 3 or 4 videos we've got to break this into so we can put it into digestible chunks so it's something that works out well for you. And it uses the native client that comes with QRadar, what's called Wincollect. So let's dig right in. What is the problem we are trying to solve, right? Unlike some of these other things where we only need to worry about the signal to noise ratio, right? How can I get all of the meaningful events, all of the good stuff, without bogging myself down with all of the junk informational events? And the problem is when we're talking about Windows logs, including Active Directory, DNS, so many of these things, is so darn many methods to get there, and a lot of them are good. Do you want to use the native Active Directory forwarding? Do you want to use Wincollect? Do you want to use Tripwire? You got something like that? A lot of these methods are really good, and they do a good job. Today we're focusing on Wincollect, but I wanted to make that point kind of loud and strong. There's a whole lot of good methods to do this. Now, Windows logging is going to be a smaller percentage of your total logs in most environments than, for example, that firewall. Firewalls are roughly 70–80% of your total logs. Now, AD is probably the next one up to say 8–10% of total, but that's roughly the size of it. So in some of these past videos, I have differentiated between QRadar and QRock. Okay, and the reason for this is you can't use a license called data stores on QRock. Data stores are not involved when we start talking about Windows logs, Active Directory logs. That is because the difference between tuning and not tuning this isn't a big enough difference that we need to indulge in a technology like data stores, right? So this is something that's going to work as well on a QRadar, a QRock, a hosted, a managed, however you want to do it. All versions are the same here, okay? And this has been different than the last couple of videos. The native agent, right? What's called Wincollect, ships with QRadar, costs you $0, all of that. Although I do think I can claim to be an expert on this, I figured I'd give you a couple of information resources. I went out to the plain old IBM support page and I hit Windows Event Filtering. You may have to put the word QRadar in there, but I'm pretty sure you can just Google this one term and it's going to take you to the correct page and it's going to give you a walkthrough of all these things we're discussing. Or if you like it more of a visual than a written mechanism, Jose Bravo, who I cannot recommend more highly. If you don't know Jose Bravo, you should look at his stuff. You should see his stuff. He has a Wincollect 101 video that is excellent, okay? And it talks about the walkthrough configuration of Wincollect itself and some of the things I don't discuss here. So if some of the things I'm talking about, like how you deploy it and all of that, he gets into quite deeply there, okay? Those are both really good references. Here's one of the fun parts, is when we're trying to get that data from Wincollect into QRadar, you need to do nothing. There's no apps, there's no plugins, there's no updates. It just goes. You don't need to approve anything. You put a Wincollect agent down on that end node, it starts to send data. You need to know the IP address of the sender and the receiver. And like I said, Jose talks about this quite a bit in his video. But there is no configuration at all required on QRadar. It's about the easiest possible thing. Okay, so once we get that end node down in the agent, and the end nodes don't need to go on every agent, and I'll talk about that hopefully in a future video here, that you can use a Wincollect as a kind of collection hub from other Windows servers. You only need a few of them out there, or put them everywhere if you want, right? But that's a topic a bit for another day. But once you have them down there, it's just a matter of grabbing the correct configuration. So I can say, and this is the Wincollect standalone configuration console, right? It's in MMC, which you can tell by that left-hand pane. Now, it looks almost the same if you use the managed Wincollect out of QRadar, okay? Not exactly the same, but real close. And I want to draw attention, in this case, to those security logs. And you will notice that, let me zoom on that a bit for you. I have the security logs selected, and I have inclusion or exclusion filters. So I can say I want everything but log number 6. I can say I want only log 6 and 10 and 13. I can say I want absolutely everything. But something that the folks here at IBM have done for you is they have gone through and spoken to the folks at the National Security Agency, the NSA, and they have come up with the right log events. The ones they say these are the correct ones that you need to do good security. And this is more than just kind of their opinion of it. Our rules are written with these log events in mind. And I'll give you a full list of what these log events are in the next couple of pages here, right, for your academic curiosity. Okay, in the same way I selected security here, I'm going to go down one, I'm going to go to the system logs, and you'll notice it is the same thing. Now, I discovered in my research 4 examples. I also discovered, whereas Active Directory is such a darn complicated thing, you can sometimes have more sets of log settings than that, right? I only found 4, but if you're using, IIS or some of the DHCP things, a lot of these things, it may select additional categories of events for you. But the way you deal with these categories is always the same. Yes, I want to collect them. Yes, I want to use the NSA event filter, okay? I came out to these 4 and all of these specific event logs, okay? And if you set up on your Windows servers, right, or workstations for that matter, a Wincollect agent, and you tell it to collect these specific log numbers, right? And these are the NSA filters all already built for you. This is what you need to get good security intelligence. And as I say all the time, I am not saying, this is in no way me saying there's never going to be custom tuning or custom filtering. Because once you get going, there's always a few little things you want to do to improve your environment. But this is the bulk of it right here, right? This is the center of it. Guys, I am Mike Winkler. This is collecting Windows logs using Wincollect. It is recorded in September of 2020. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks.